This is the help video for Excel Chapter 1, Guided Project 1-3. I'm in SimNet right now and the project, and I'm going to download the start file, and I'm going to go ahead and download the PDF that is the solution file, just in case I want to see what I'm supposed to look like, what it's supposed to look like. I am doing this on a Windows, so I have the assignment clicked for the Windows instructions. So we're going to begin this by opening up this start file. It should begin with your name. You don't rename it. You just leave it as it is. I am not going to update now. I'm going to enable. So now I have my instruction file over here on the left and my work file over here on the right. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice the material that we learned in the first chapter. So the first thing we're going to do, I did that, we're going to remove the split and then freeze. So look at what we're looking at. We have our screen split so that we can move in different, look at different data on the same worksheet. So we're splitting it so we can look at two different views. We're going to go ahead and undo that. So we're going to come up here to View, and then in the window we want to find the split and click it, and it will return it to just a regular view. You can always go in, put that back on, right? We're going to go ahead and do that. The next thing we're going to do is, do you see the data is more than what can appear on one screen? So once I scroll down, I lose what data is in what column. So it's really common to freeze the titles at the top and perhaps even on the right, depending on how much data you have to the right, that you're scrolling to the right. So what I want to do is be in A4. And at this point, I'm just going to freeze what's above it. But let's say I was in B4 and I froze my panes. It would do above and to the left. So you just want to position your active cell below and to the right of whatever you want frozen. In this case, we only want the stuff at the top. So we're going to be on this View tab, and we want to do Freeze Panes and Freeze Panes. Now we have this line here, and watch what happens when I scroll. The row 1, 2, and 3 is frozen, and so I don't lose my header as I scroll through my spreadsheet. All right, so you can see that. We want to go to cell E31. E31. So this quantity right now says 0. We're going to change it to a 3 and enter. And now I knew I'm in quantity because I could see that, right? So we're putting a 3 in there. Do a Control Home. Oops. Control Home. Wrong system. And we're back up to A4. See, it excludes that home position. I said it always is A1, except when you have it frozen, and then it's the first cell outside of the frozen area. All right, so down here we can see that we're at 120% zoom. So we can use the minus key to go 10%, or if you want to go back to 100, do you see this little dot in the middle, the little bar? You can click on it, it'll always go back to 100. I missed it. So we want to click on the 100. Okay, so I can click on this and you can pick what you want. Right, so that's really tiny. I want to go back to 100. Or you can use the zoom bar, or you can click on the number there. we're going to unfreeze. So we're going to click on freeze panes and unfreeze panes. So now we're unfrozen. Now we can go home, and we go back to the A1 position, right? So do you see how that works with the frozen rows? All right, so let's check the spelling. I'm at A1. We're going to go to the Review tab, Spelling, and we're going to find hiking without the G. We're going to put hiking and change. But notice it only did one. So I'm going to do hiking and say change all. And so I don't have to go hiking, 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 right? So anywhere that it was misspelled, it was probably typed incorrectly and then copied, we did all of them at once. Okay, so if we look at H4, we have a formula in there. If I look at my formula bar, I'm taking E4, which is quantity, times the cost to get the value. Well, I have a whole lot of data here. So I could click and drag it, but here's an easier way. Just find the little data fill handle and get to that spot. So it's the crosshairs with no arrows, double click. It'll automatically fill, because it's a data fill, it'll fill in that column with that formula. Let's go back home. If I do that one more time. So pretty simple. That was pretty nice. And that's really great if you have a huge, like, thousands of rows, right? Lots of data. Doing that double click really will save you some time. So let's go to page layout, and we want to look at our themes, and we want to choose Ion. So we're going to open up our themes, and we're going to find Ion. If I point to it, it changes underneath, and I like that, so I'm going to do that. So the next thing we're going to do is merge and center the titles. So this is different than what we did in the pause and practice. Remember, in the pause and practice, we did center across selection, and we ended up with individual cells remaining, and then the text was just justified in the middle with that. This is actually going to merge all of these cells. So the way it starts is whatever you want to merge, whatever you want to center is in the first cell. This one happens to be A1, but it doesn't have to be column A. Just whatever you want to center, you have to be the first cell that you select. And then you select across the area that you want this to be centered across. Then on the Home tab, find the Merge and Center and click on it. Now it is merged and centered. So centered, we did that before, but now it's just one cell, right? There's no longer a B1, a C1, an I1. We had to do these independently because you can only do one direction with this Merge and Center. So I'm selecting it again, merge and center, and there we go. One cell. There's only an A1. It goes A1, K1. So the rest of those, there no longer is a cell for that. So we're going to click that. Let's see how far we got. All right. I think at this point, I'm going to stop this movie and pick up with the next movie on this guided. All right, thank you.